Hello, everyone. Welcome to pinkmistpodcast. Today, I recorded a podcast about a week ago, and I hated it again. So I'm re-recording and gonna be. I might clip a couple things from it that I liked, but probably not most of it. It was just a big jumble of a lot of just random talking. Have you ever been told by someone their favorite movie and kind of questioned why you're talking to them? So, when you think your favorite movie, what do you think? I thought of a couple right before this, because knew I was gonna pose this question, and the couple that I came up with were The Empire Strikes Back, Mad Max Road Fury, and recently I watched Heat, which I liked a lot. So I'd say those three. And then when you talk to somebody else and they say their three favorite movies start with Alien, which is a good movie, The Thing, which is another good movie. And then the third is Event Horizon. And I was like, I don't know what that is. Like, I've heard of it, but I've never seen it. And I looked it up, and I was like, what the fuck is this movie? It stars Sam Neill and Lawrence Fishburne. It was released in 1997 and has a 27% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, this conversation I had wasn't just what's your favorite movie, but what's one of your favorite good movies, not just a fun movie. And this was told to me that they think this is a really good movie, and then they were surprised that it was rated 27% on Rotten Tomatoes. The person who told me this was Jack, the person who was on the last podcast with me, where we recorded it right after a bike ride. So, as you already know, he has some questionable thoughts, and this is just another one. So what I've decided to do today is I'm going to watch the movie, and about every 30 minutes or so, or whenever I find something either good or questionable, I'm going to stop the movie and start recording again and start talking about it. So, real quickly, the plot of Event Horizon. It's a 1997 science fiction horror film directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. Set in 2047, it follows a crew of astronauts sent on a rescue mission. After a missing spaceship, the Event Horizon spontaneously appears in orbit around Neptune, searching the ship for signs of life. The rescue crew learns that the Event Horizon was a test bed for an experimental engine that opened a rift in the space-time continuum and left our universe entirely, allowing a malevolent entity to possess the ship. So we're going to watch the movie, and we're going to figure out if this is actually a good movie or a bad movie. It's about an hour and a half long, slightly more than that, so it shouldn't take that long. And I'll see you guys in about 30 minutes, which should actually be about right now. In the back. So, I got through the first 29 minutes and 18 seconds of the movie, and my dog fell asleep during it. The opening credits of the movie says, on 2015, a colony was founded on the moon. So, we're behind. But then it says in 2032, commercial mining on the moon began. Which, even for 1997, they should have realized that within about a week, commercial mining would have started on the moon. There's no way that somebody isn't going to monopolize the mining operation of the moon until 17 years later. It's going to happen within weeks, and they're going to be pulling lithium for phone batteries and anything that they can out of that ground and just decimate it, and we're just going to sit here on Earth and just watch it slowly get ripped to shreds. What else did I write down? So far, it's pretty generic. It seems like every space movie ever, where there's some type of ship with reference to something that happened in America, I don't know. This one's called the Lewis and Clark. I feel like there's ones called the Independence and shit, and it has your standard team of a hard ass captain that hey team, listen up, we're not gonna mess around, and a doctor and an ace pilot and a smart, attractive middle-aged blonde that's like good at communicating, and a wisecracking like black dude, and spacewalking kind of crazy white guy. So that's what I've seen so far. And right now, we have our team has made it through space after like 58 days to the event horizon, and they have just boarded onto the ship. Let's see, what else did I write down? So Sam Neill is the main character. He is the main character in the movie. If you don't know who he is off the top of your head, Sam Neill is the main guy from Jurassic Park. Okay, so that was my biggest question, was he has a British or like Australian accent in the movie. I actually wrote down, I wrote notes. I wrote down, could he possibly be from New Zealand? And when I looked it up, he was born in Northern Ireland, but moved at a young age to New Zealand. So I didn't know that. And that kind of threw me through a loop. When I feel like he's been in a lot of movies, but I can only think of Jurassic Park and Peaky Blinders, when he's like the rapey cop. And then my other final note so far is that I feel no connection to a single character. Like, they don't do enough development of even any character to make you feel like you care about them. So, like, there's 3 people. Like, Lawrence Fishburne is, like, one of the people. Neo, or I think from Matrix, the black guy from the Matrix, they're, like, in the event horizon. Like, they went in and found it after it's been missing for, like, 7 years, and there's nobody on it. But you don't care about any of them, because they've made no real, like, development to, like, make a character seem, like, connectable, or, like, I feel like a connection towards them. So it's just, you're just sitting there like there was a person or something behind them, and I was just like, if they die, they die. I didn't really care. So those are like my biggest points so far, and we're going to turn it back on and continue watching. All right, I'm 2/3 of the way through it now, and the only reason I'm going to finish this movie is because I know there's only 30 minutes left. If there was another hour and a half, an hour, I'd be like, nah, we out. Like, it's just like deep space. Like, I had to go put on socks because I'm so cold from watching deep space movies. Like, it's just like a setting in space, but there's not like a ton going on. Like, there's like every other space movie, there's an invisible something or something there, but nobody knows what it is, except for the one guy who got brought along on the trip. And, like, it's obvious that, like, from within 20 minutes in, that the doctor is bad, or, like, has a nefarious agenda, because he's just gaslighting everyone on the ship. Like, oh, you didn't see that. That's not real. You must have seen this. And it literally does it to everyone. It's just from the beginning, it's very obvious that he's not just being a doctor, he's being a bad boy. They also all speak with Australian accents, but it's very fast and with a lot of noise sometimes, so it just, you can't understand what they're saying half the time. And there's just a lot of, like, your classic, like, space movie tropes, like, we're on our own, like I said, like, very typical names for ships, like the Goliath, shit like that. I think so far my favorite character, the only character that I can really say has interest to me, is the guy who plays Lucius Malfoy from Harry Potter, Jason Isaacs. Yeah, he's interesting. He's like a conflicted doctor, or like emergency medical. It's usually the guy who's always interesting, is like the guy who, like, knows something about the body and, like, is realizing something about something going on with somebody. But I've literally gotten, because I'm so bored. Like, I have a meeting in 30 minutes, and I don't know if I'm going to be awake for it. Let's see, did I write anything else down? Is there lightning in space? They're supposed to be in space, but there's clouds and lightning. Oh, and there's one funny scene when like Lawrence Fishburne is out in space, and some guy's about to let himself out of the airlock, named Justin, and like it just cuts to Lawrence Fishburne screaming Justin. He's like, Justin! But nobody can hear him because he's alone in space, and it's just a very funny, like, quick cut clip that I might include in this. Give me 1 second.
Just activated the door. It's on a 30-second delay.
Justin! Yeah, that was it. Just wanted to include it. All right, I'm going to finish this movie. Okay, love you, bye. You know, also in thinking about that Justin scream, I feel like he, like, didn't, like, put his whole chest to it. He, like, did it from his throat. Like, Justin! Instead of, like, down from below. It didn't feel well done. He needed to put more into that. Anyways, I'm back. It's 4 hours later, almost to the dot. I had a meeting as I was watching that I had to attend. And then I went to the mall for a little bit and got a nice new Nike t-shirt. But I just came back, watched the last 30 minutes, and wrote a couple more notes on my good friend Jack's favorite movie, Event Horizon. So let's see, the first note I wrote is Sparks. And no, it's not a steamy love story with sparks flying. There's just a lot of sparks. Every time something blows up, it's just a shower of sparks. There's no rhyme or reason to them. There's just sparks everywhere. Let's see anything else. His character is very basic. He has, he's that typical hard-ass captain leader, but with a troubled past. He lost some men before and can't let go of it, and that's what the ship holds over his head. The ship, the gravity well thing, makes him remember. And I don't know if the ship was the bad guy or if Dr. Weir, the scientist doctor, was a bad guy who used the ship, or if the ship just turned him bad. But the ship just created a portal to hell, and the scientist died, and then he came back, but he was bald and naked and just had scars on him, or like cuts. Looked like a pinheady vibe. And then like they like blew up part of the ship to save the other 2 crew members. I think my favorite scene from the whole movie was when the doctor, the guy who plays Lucius Malfoy, when he got like reverse blood eagled, and he was like strung up on the ceiling with hooks and like through his skin to like hang him from the ceiling, and he was like cut open down the middle. Blood eagling is when like you cut someone up the back and you like break their ribs and you pull their lungs out the back to look like wings. It's like an old Viking thing. It was in Midsummer, if you've seen that movie. But they stay alive because you don't like cut their lungs or anything. You like keep them alive. But that was probably the coolest scene. It was a little creative. I liked that. What else happened? There was a part. In the what's it called? Fucking no, like the command module, but not the command module. God, what do they call it? Not the tower. Wherever they fly the ship from. Fucking whatever. There's just bodies just splattered on the wall, and nobody even like. There's no mention of them. They don't like notice them, or like maybe they do, but they don't make any notice of like being like, hey. When I walk in, like there's human bodies just smashed to pieces on the walls and just stuck to them, and I thought that was an interesting, just like non-touched subject. But yeah, the overall movie, like the gravity well thing that spun, that controlled the whole thing, kind of felt like it was like an older, like Isaac Asimov type retelling, like tried to be redone as a movie 50 years later. kind of like how 2001: A Space Odyssey has like the pillar thing in it, and that's from an old book. This is just me ripping apart my friend's favorite movie, which he's more than welcome to do to me. He just won't be able to do it because I don't have stupid choices of movies. But yeah, so overall, just do yourself a favor. If it's on TV and it's a Saturday afternoon and you want to take a nap, turn it on. But otherwise, I'm not going to watch it again. Yeah, not good. Jack, what are we doing here? We need to watch something else. Let's watch something better. Happy Gilmore. Yeah, so last week I recorded by myself and with another friend of mine who talks a lot. And we did a couple of fun things in there. And I'm just going to go ahead and add them in right here as just a little like segment of just, it's not a full interview. It's just going to be pieces of the interview. So here is me and Michael Morello. All right, so here's the first clip. It is a scene or a table read from the movie Fight Club, where the two main characters are sitting in a bar after one of the characters' apartments has just blown up from a gas leak. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in now, and I will see you on the other side of it.
Jack and Tyler sit in the back with a pitcher of beer.
You buy furniture. You tell yourself, this is the last sofa I'll ever need. No matter what else happens, I've got the sofa issue handled. Then, the right set of dishes, the right dinette.
This is how we fill up our lives.
I guess so.
And now it's gone.
All gone.
26? Could be worse. A woman could cut off your penis while you're asleep and toss it out the window of a moving car. It's called Lorena Bobbitt.
There's always that.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just terribly tragic.
No.
I mean, you did lose a lot of nice, neat little shit. The trendy paper lamps, the Eurotrash shelving unit. Am I right?
Ha!
But maybe you've just been delivered.
Delivered from Swedish furniture.
Delivered from armchair's obscure green stripe patterns.
Delivered from Martha Stewart.
Delivered from bullshit colors like cobalt, ebony, and fuchsia. Oh yeah, you gotta start making a list.
Skip my line.
I don't know, you
It says, then silence, they drink.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And then I get a line. It goes,
What's your line?
hold on, be quiet for a second. Insurance will cover it.
Oh yeah, you gotta start making the list.
What list?
The now I get to go out and buy the exact same shit all over again list. That list.
I don't think so.
This time maybe get like a widescreen TV. You'll be occupied for weeks.
Well, I have to file a claim.
Listen, man, the things you own end up owning you.
Don't I?
What do you like?
God, it's a little late. I should find a hotel.
A hotel?
Yeah.
So you called me up because you just want to have a drink before you go to a hotel?
I don't follow.
We're on a third pitcher of beer. Just ask me.
Huh?
You call me so you can have a place to stay.
No, I
Why don't you just cut the shit and ask if you can stay at my place?
Would that be a problem?
Is that a problem for you to ask?
Can I stay at your place?
Yes, you can.
Thank you.
You're welcome, but I want you to do me one favor.
What?
I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
What?
Just hit me square in the face.
I don't know about this.
I don't know either. I want you to find out. I've never been hit. Have you?
No, that's a good thing, isn't it?
I don't want to die without any scars. I'm a pretty boy. I don't know how much you really know about yourself if you've never been in a fight. Come on, you're the only person I've asked.
Me?
Why not you? I'm letting you do it. Do it.
This is crazy.
All right, go crazy. Let her rip.
Where do you want it? In the face?
Surprise me, bitch.
Bop.
Ow! Fuck!
Shit, sorry, that didn't count.
Like hell that counted.
Bop.
How do you feel?
Strange?
Like a good strange?
Is it?
You've crossed the threshold. You want to call it off?
Call what off?
The fight.
What fight?
This fight, pussy.
Boom. Fucking phenomenal. Fucking phenomenal.
So, as you can see, I'm going to be sending this out to a couple of agencies to, I'm just looking into doing a couple movies. Got a couple parts offered, so if, I move away and stop podcasting and you start seeing me on the big screen, Broadway, even off Broadway, just because I think it's a little artsy and I just want to be in it. It's not for the money, it's for the art. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I was you. I'm obviously very, very good at acting. So, but yeah, anyways, that was fun. I want to go through it and see if there's anything else to clip. That was probably the funniest thing we did. Everything else is just, when he came over, he was drunk and just rambling, and I slowly sobered him up, but not really that much, but just enough to kind of get that whole thing almost all put together, which was a lot of fun. If you have somebody, like if you're just hanging out, pull out a scene from a movie, like a 2-person scene. If there's 3, you pull out 3, and just be like, let's try this. Let's just do it. And record it on your phone or something, and then just listen to it later. It's hilarious. And like, it's a lot of fun to do, because then you don't get into it, but you're like, I'm going to deliver this line. And if you've seen it in the movie before, you kind of know the inflection of like what's supposed to happen, or like kind of how they're talking. So it makes it even better. I definitely recommend trying it. But obviously, I'm not a real actor. We were god awful. It was absolutely terrible. But it's definitely something I'm going to do again, because it's a ton of fun. I'm about as good at it as I am at podcasting. I'm about a 1 out of 10. Maybe 2, because I gave myself an extra point for effort. And at least trying. But yeah, today has been a lot of movie stuff. I recorded last week, and I put talked about music in it a little bit. Jack said I should talk about music. I don't think I know enough about music to really talk about it. I also don't really care about, especially mainstream music, like music that people would know about. And like people that I find that don't listen to mainstream music usually listen to stuff like obscure electronic music. And it's just I'm not into that either. So it's just not really a niche that I could see myself kind of sticking my way into. I do like electronic music, but I don't like house techno type shit. Remember dubstep? And that was cool for a week. They had that Ziggy Marley and Skrillex song and Far Cry 3, the reggae dubstep. And I remember my brother would literally listen to that song nonstop all day. He had 3 songs on his iPod and he only played 1, and it was that song. He was 10, maybe even younger, 9, and it was just in our house all the fucking time. And it was cool the first time in the game when you're actually playing it, but after that you just never want to hear it again. The electronic music I do like is synthwave and outrun style music, like in the movie Drive, that song Night Call at the beginning. Yeah, that one. That I do dig that music a lot. It's very it sets a good tone and atmosphere, and that's kind of what I like about music, because I like to set an atmosphere. I don't like music to I like the music to vibe with what I'm doing almost. If I'm working out, I want to listen to something a little bit heavier or a little bit of emotion. But if I'm driving, I want to listen to synthwave, because it just kind of it vibes with the flow of driving. And in the morning, when I get to work and start working, I want to listen to jazz music, because it's relaxing and kind of helps you start your day off on a good nice paced footing almost, and just sets a good mood. That's what music is about for me. It's about mood. It's not about like listening to like stuff to just because it's on. I don't know if that makes sense, but like I feel like some people just like especially like music on the radio. This is me being geriatric Trevor talking about what's wrong with the current state of music, but it's not, because I do enjoy some. But overall, a lot of people just turn the radio and just leave it on, and I just can't do that. Like I have to like control what I'm listening. Like I don't have to be like in control of the music. Like say if I'm hanging out with people, but like if I'm listening to music, I'm not just gonna turn it on and just let it run. Like it has to like set that tone and keep that pace on going almost. I don't know. Maybe that's just a mental health issue that I have. That's what this podcast should be. I should talk about mental health because I'm a licensed clinical psychiatrist who knows a lot about it. I should take calls. Like do like a live Twitch podcast. But the problem is like I'm so empathetic. Not empathetic. I just zone out. I ain't kind of bad. I don't know. Holy shit. That movie put me to fucking sleep. Fuck Jack for making me watch that shit. I'm gonna make him watch The Lighthouse. I've recommended that movie to so many people, and I think one person has watched it. I recommend it to all of you. Every single person watching this, watch it. Don't go into it with any expectations and try to look at it from like a different perspective, and it's so good. It's a very fun movie. It's another like atmospheric type movie that I don't know. I like atmosphere. If we make like I like a good like sets you in a time zone and makes you feel kind of like you're there. And that's what's fun about that movie. And so, yeah, I just went through the entire rest of the podcast, and I just want everyone to know that I recorded 40 minutes and had about 2.5 usable minutes from that entire podcast. It's like I wasn't babysitting. You kind of are. I know that he's an adult, and I'm an adult, and I don't need to babysit an adult. But sometimes you just, especially when it's a new podcast, you can't just be saying shit. Sometimes you just kind of gotta, edit some stuff out and then, edit 37.5 minutes out, and then you're left with 3 minutes of a monologue, which is fun. But yeah, that's the other part that like we talked about is like having stuff to talk about. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I think I'm gonna pause this recording for now and come back in a little bit. Might just do 30 minutes today and then re-release another one next week. But if I don't come back, I love you. And I hope you all have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and a wonderful weekend. Follow us on YouTube and on Twitter right now. I have 2 followers on Twitter currently. And, I'd like 3, maybe even 4. That's a lot, though. It's asking a lot. I might just buy bots to follow me, like get a little Russian Twitter farm going, spend like $20, get them to follow me. It's really not hard. But anyways, I hope you all have a great day. I love you. Bye.